I'm not gonna say nothing. But sometimes it's good to listen to people when they just know how to solve crime. I was a while back, I was talking about COVID-19 and I was sharing my side of research of where I felt like COVID-19 came from. So today was good news, but I don't like to say certain things until you get like full detail of what's going on. It comes to find out, come to picture that COVID-19 was linked from a Wuhan laboratory. And I basically stressed and talked about this situation a long time ago. And must I um, let you know this? I never been to China. So you're probably saying, hey, how you know all what's going on? I mean, it's stuff that you learn in school to figure out a lot of things that are going on, especially in a laboratory. And sometimes, people try to not, when you're in a laboratory, you tend to, abide by the procedures and stuff that happen in a laboratory, and you try not to play games or do anything silly while working in any type of scientific laboratory. So right about now, the FBI released basically the news released and said that basically COVID-19 was a link that came from Wuhan laboratory. And so right about now, what they're trying to figure out is like, why was everyone saying that it came from an animal? But right about now, according to today, it came out and they're saying it was a link from the laboratory. But they're still, doing their research and they're still doing their investigation. But now they want to know, how does it transfer? How did it get into, how was it transferable into an animal? Now, there's only several ways that COVID was transferable to an animal. Either someone put it in an animal intentionally, or number two, when the laboratory just isn't as clean as you say it is. Anything could be living in any type of laboratory across the world. And what I mean by as clean, like a mouse, a bug, a roach, and kind of could have got into that Wuhan laboratory. So what people are trying to say is how they get transferable to an animal. So what happens that day, and what they're trying to figure out is that other things happen within that laboratory than what they're saying. And they're saying that a lot of stuff has been covered up. But at the time when Trump was in office, and I had said about the same thing that he had stated too, like where it had came from. But the other thing was that they was looking at, like, how did it come transferable to an animal and then lead on into, the economy, which was how did it link out into outside of the Wuhan lab. And so basically, right now, I had education on laboratory stuff. So, like I said, the only way that can occur is either somebody intentionally did it, or number two, you might have had a cleaning team that was cleaning a little too clean or just being too clean or is trying to mess around with stuff that you're not supposed to be touching or messing with, and it happened to fall on the floor, and whatever insect or animal that was in there, you already know it ended up being transferable. But you have to feel realize that all types like anything could have been in that laboratory. It depends on how clean that their laboratory was. A mouse, perhaps, and if even if they try to clean it up, sometimes people miss spots when cleaning up, especially when it's spilled from what they're saying or linked out in the laboratory. So mice or either a rat could have been present at the time, but they try to say everybody try to blame it on a bat, and they're all looking like if you're gonna blame it on a bat, where was the bat at when the incident happened at the laboratory? So I just want to tell everybody, like, I never stopped talking about COVID. I kind of like toned it down because a lot has happened with a lot of people who had um, caught COVID or had family members who previously died from COVID. And so I toned it down because it could be a little like depressing to individuals, and I didn't want to, you know, be like always be talking about it and leading people to people to feel a certain type of way. We never want individuals to feel depressed and stressed, but that is a situation that I'm gonna leave up to law enforcement to, solve. But it was like the time frame of when it happened, and that a lot of people like was trying to investigate and see what happened, and here it is 2025, and a lot of people have passed away, and now we have a new virus that's out, and it's like, how long, you know is it, are we going to go on with this? And it's like, this virus that's out is like what, 4 times worse than COVID-19. So the time when Trump had came to Wuhan and asked about what was going on or what had happened in the laboratory, and the reason why he probably didn't get the information that he needed is because, in that foreign country, it was also stated like we deal with our own. And but the thing about being a president of the United States, you have to know a lot of things because it was coming towards America. And so it was coming within the United States. And then all of a sudden it was spread into other foreign countries. So yeah, they do want to know all the information that they need to know so they can put a stop and probably find a cure for COVID-19 besides a vaccine. Because I think right about now we took a lot of series of vaccines, and then they just came out with another new one, which is in the Pfizer vaccine, but they haven't got it in a Moderna vaccine yet. They said it's supposed to be coming out probably in next year, like in 2026, for those who've been keeping up with their vaccines. And so I just wanted to let you know and elaborate on that. And like right about now, I wanted to elaborate on it because a lot of people were very interested in what I was talking about when it came to COVID-19. And a lot of people was like, oh, she stopped talking about COVID-19, COVID-19. I was just being very mindful and respectful on what was going on, especially when it came to investigation and stuff like that. You know, you don't want to say stuff to lead an investigation on to something else. So I just want to say what me and the individuals had talked about on my Facebook and on my Instagram was all the information that I gave out to help you, you know, about COVID-19 was correct. And I also wanted you to know that that's what they're saying now, which I had discussed to you about how it linked out into the laboratory. And you're like, oh, how would you know that? But I also don't let everybody know everything I know when I be going to school and what I learned. And so I also, like I said, I know I have education also a little bit in laboratories and the procedures and stuff that you have to take and things that could happen within a laboratory. So when you say there's a link in a laboratory and you're a person who's educated or has some education as being a person who work in a laboratory or research laboratory or a scientific laboratory, you should know how many ways something should have linked out of a laboratory. Until next time, this is Shaniki.